Hello friends. Now let us take up the concept number 2.11 in the second chapter, popular programming languages. We have to understand them as popular high level programming languages. Actually, in this concept, I am going to briefly explain about 16 popular languages. If I don't explain these concepts, then our discussion will not be completed. That's why briefly I am introducing. In this context, you must understand one fact. Actually, all these programming languages are meant for creating instructions to the computer. Why so many languages? One or two languages are enough. Why dozens of languages? Actually, as on the day, dozens of high level programming languages are there in the world. Why dozens of languages? That you may get a doubt. Actually, if you human languages also, there are hundreds of human languages. Why so many human languages means those are relating to region. Suppose if you take India, in each state there are one or two languages, and if you take majority of states, common language is Hindi. So if you take an international language, that is English. So in this manner, these languages are attached to certain region. So every language is meant for interaction with the other human being. That that you know. But as far as computer languages are concerned, the purpose is different. Every language is having its unique features and functionalities. One language is developed. Subsequently, other language will come. Other language is developed with advanced features. Whatever system is introduced in especially in software or hardware, the people use it, and they expect more from it, and in order to satisfy them, one more advanced system will come. They continuously is a very dynamic field. Every time you can find new inventions, innovations and developments. In the same manner, different languages are developed. Each language is having its own features, and subsequently, with the advanced features, some other languages are developed. In that way, many within the course of time, within almost 5 to 6 decades, and dozens of languages were evolved. Now, I am introducing 16 languages here. Just I am giving a brief introduction. If you have interest, and you can refer internet and study each and every language in detail. Okay, now the first one is ADA. Actually, this was developed in 1970s by Department of Defense, USA. Actually, it is named after the first lady programmer in the world, Ada Augusta Lovelace. One lady was there. She was the first programmer, and it was named after that lady. And mainly, it was used in defense services and aerospace services. And latest version of Ada language supports OOP features also. OOP features also, and that is the first. Second one is BASIC. This is the acronym for Beginners All Purpose Symbolic Instruction Code. Beginners All Purpose Symbolic Instruction Code. Actually, in 1960s, it was released. Mainly, this language uh, simplified the program. With that, we can develop simple instructions to the computer, and mainly for learning language for students and all that. This is a very useful language to enter into the programming world, and with this, commercial applications, engineering, scientific applications also can be developed. and subsequently many versions, those are called dialects, were developed. Many variants for basic were developed, and out of that, Visual Basic, Microsoft's Visual Basic was a very popular one, and it supports latest version of this supports OOP also, object oriented programming. That is basic. The third one is C language. Actually, C language was developed in 1972 by AT&T Labs of US. Actually, this is a landmark in the history of evolution of the programming languages, because this is the first true function oriented programming language, and it is a general purpose language. Before that, other languages were there. All those languages were specific. COBOL for business, FORTRAN for scientific and engineering purposes. Like that, those are meant for specific purposes. The first general purpose language uh, is C. In 1972, it was released, and it brought revolutionary changes in the world. Actually, because of its versatility and its simplicity, millions of students throughout the world are inspired. Earlier, students especially, thought that learning programming language is very difficult and all that. And C language, with the advent of C language, that scenario totally changed, and students started enjoying learning C language, and it transformed many students as a real programmer. Even today, if you want to become a real programmer in a natural way, and see the golden threshold for programming world, that you must realize and all that. And it is not only high level language, it is having some low level features also. Operating systems can be developed using this. So it is having majority high level features and some low level features also, and using C language we can develop system programs also. And for your information, Unix operating system, the most powerful operating system, was developed using C language only. Actually, C language is the native environment for a Unix operating system, and that's why it is one of the reasons for the popularity of C. And most general purpose operating systems are developed even today by using C and C++. Okay, so C was one of the landmarks in the history of evolution of the programming languages. Thereafter, Objective C. Actually, this was developed with object oriented features, and based on C, this was developed, that is Objective C. Actually, it was developed in 1983, 83, and this was acquired by Apple Corporation, and mainly this Objective C has been used for Mac operating system, and I systems of the Apple, that is iPod, iPad, iPhone, etc., and all that. That is Objective C. Thereafter, C++. Actually, C++ is an extension of C. Actually, C is a pure function oriented programming language. In order to provide object oriented features for C, in C and all that, C++ was developed. Plus means one step further to C. One step further to C. Actually, this is a hybrid language. That means C++ supports one way function oriented programming, other way object oriented programming. That's why you can call it as object oriented program, because object oriented programming is a very powerful paradigm in program development process. That's why, as it is a complete, it is supporting WOOF features, and already millions of students learned C and all that. The migration from C to C++ was very easy, and in object orientation, program development process will be very easy, and the productivity is very high and all that. That's why C++ became very popular almost until Java was developed in 1995. It was very popular language. It is very powerful language also, but comparatively with the C and all that, it is very a bit difficult to learn C++. The reason behind it is this is the extension of C language. That is the basic reason, because while developing WOO features, the developers didn't have complete freedom. Whatever feature they developed for C++, it should support C language. That's why some intricacy is there in learning C++. Now, the sixth language, COBOL. COBOL is the acronym for Common Business Oriented Language. Common Business Oriented Language, COBOL. Actually, this is business oriented language, as its name represents and all that. In case of large amount of data to be processed in the applications, business applications and all that, large amount of data to be processed. In such case, the COBOL is a very efficient language. That's why even today, many business houses who are dealing with a large amount of data are using this COBOL language programs and all that. The latest version of COBOL language supports WOOP, object-oriented programming, and next one, the COBOL was released in 1950s by computer manufacturers for data processing applications. For the purpose of data processing applications, computer manufacturers developed this language. Thereafter, FORTRAN. FORTRAN language, actually this is acronym for Formula Translation. Formula Translation language, and this is mainly used in mathematical, scientific and engineering applications, and it was developed in 1950s by IBM, and latest version of this one supports WOOP. Next, eighth, Pascal language. It was developed in 1980s and all that, and for teaching computer science, this was used and all that, and universities for decades they used this language. This is very effective in teaching computer science, and in this the specialty is structured programming. Structured programming, already I explained to you. Structured programming means using different control structures, and in programming we can implement the programs in such a disciplined way by using control structures. That's why it is called structured programming languages, and it was very popular in colleges for decades. And thereafter, Java. Java in 1995, it was released by Sun Microsystems. It was one of the landmarks in the history of evolution of the programming languages. Already I told you, in 1972, C was released. It was one landmark. It was a true FOP language, and at the same time, it was the first complete general purpose language. It transformed millions of students from the universities into programmers. That was one landmark. Thereafter, in 1995, next landmark, Java was developed as a pure and true object-oriented programming language, and in 1995 it was developed. You may not believe one fact. World 20% of programmers are Java programmers now. World around 4.5 million programmers, 11 million programmers are Java programmers, and its a special feature is it is a general purpose language, and as well as it was uh, developed as a prominent and popular internet language. Okay, and its special feature is Vora. Write once, run anywhere. So, one time if you write Java program and you can run it only one time, you write a program, that code is executed on any platform. Write once, run anywhere. It is simply called as Vora and all that. With this, large scale applications we can develop by using Java, and for many commercial devices like smartphones and all that, set top box, all that we can develop programs using Java. So always remember that 1972 one landmark, the second landmark was in 1995 with the advent of Java. Thereafter, JavaScript. This is a very popular scripting language. Actually, what is scripting language? It provides programmability for web pages. Web pages earlier, those were static, to provide a data and all that. So, with JavaScript, first time the programmability was incorporated on web pages and all that, and by using this, many innovative technological apps and all that are developed using JavaScript.